What's up, everybody? You are listening to Beyond the Breakdown with Six Scars. I am joined tonight by my guest, Johnny Ketchup of the punk rock band The Quits. Johnny, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing fantastic. And hey, what a pleasure to be invited to be on the Breakdown podcast. Couldn't ask for a better opportunity.
Oh, man, you're going to make me freaking blush over here, dude. All right. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I'm excited for this, man. When I got the message back from you about being on this, man, I was really stoked. And then I've been listening to your album ever since that day, actually.
Oh, fantastic. That's what you should be doing.
Yeah, dude, definitely. So I got a lot I want to go through with you. So, I mean, we'll just, we'll hit the ground running, man. Okay.
All right.
So for those that may not know The Quits, which, I mean, I'm new to them myself, so I want to get the message out. Tell us a little bit about your band.
Sure. And I think that's interesting and neat the way you said to know about them. Isn't that interesting? How is it like it's a separate entity? It's, it's not even me and it's not even the musicians. It's its own animal doing its own thing over there. Let me tell you guys a little bit about The Quits. Let me tell you an interesting story about how we even started. How about that? How about if I start right there?
Do it.
Let's just lay it down on the line. Folks, there's hope for you. There's hope out there. No matter what life brings you, you're going to go through some heavy, deep shit. But at the end of the tunnel, there's a bright light waiting for you. There's a very bright light waiting for you. My parents and my brother had all passed away. Things were very difficult. And I turned to substance abuse. To deal with that. And that went on for quite some time. And myself, I've always been a vocalist and been in and out of bands. And I had this amazing girlfriend. She was a bass player. And we decided, hey, let's clean our act up. Let's stop this nonsense. So we went to an AA/NA meeting. And can you believe it? The first two people we met when we walked in the door was a guitarist and a drummer.
Oh, wow.
Right?
No way.
Right. It was meant to be. And we clicked. We got together the very next day and we wrote our very first song as The Quits. And thus, well, we need a name for this band. At first we thought, well, we're all trying to quit doing this shit, right? So let's call it The Quitters. But that was already taken. So we are The Quits because we all met while trying to quit some shit.
Dude, that is awesome. That might be the single coolest way I've heard of a band getting started. So did you all quit something on the same day?
No, not on the same day. The other two guys that we'd met had already been in the program, as they call it, for several years. Okay. One of them is our drummer, and he was my sponsor. I know this show isn't about all that, but we can throw that in there. He's got like 30 years under his belt. So that's awesome stuff today. And he's moved to he lives in the mountains in a cabin now in Montana somewhere, and he's just loving life there. But we talk often, and he's super excited to see how far this has gone since he's moved on his life.
Absolutely, man. So now how long have you all been together?
Since the dawn of time. Since the dawn of time, and we're from parts unknown, and that
in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, and from a galaxy far, far away. It's silly because I don't like to answer that question, and here's why.
Okay.
I don't like to ruin the fantasy for people. I know I've been approached by people that would come to me and they'd say, I remember seeing you guys in this venue back in 1992. You guys are still around? I'm like, yep. Okay. All right. So glad you had a great time. We didn't exist then. So
I understand. Okay.
I don't want to mess with anybody's. I'll tell you this. We didn't release a proper demo until 2018.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Damn. And you've been putting out some good quality stuff since then too. Like I've been listening to it, man. What is it? Satyricon is gone.
Satyricon is gone.
Satyricon is gone. I love that one, man. Fucked Up is a really good one.
Yeah, right.
My favorite though is High Octane. Like that one that one went straight, literally like octane right into my freaking veins, man. I was listening to it at work on repeat.
That's awesome. You know, and that's what I've heard that so many times that high octane is the favorite. And so thank you for again adding that. So gosh, that's just good stuff to hear. Let me tell you something about the song Satyricon, which is exciting. On the East Coast, you're on the East Coast, yes?
Yep.
Where are you?
I am in Virginia.
You're in Virginia. I'm on the West Coast. On the East Coast, there was a club called CBGB in New York.
New York.
CBGB and Umpug. For those of you that don't know what that stands for, country, bluegrass, blues, and other music from underground.
Yes.
CBGB and Umpug, okay? Well, on the West Coast, there was a venue called the Satyricon.
Yeah.
Okay? In Portland, Oregon. And when CBGB closed down, Satyricon continued on, and it made it the longest running underground punk rock underground club in the U.S., right? Iconic. Everybody that's anybody has played. They're just like CBGB, right? Just amazing. And you could stroll in there on a Wednesday to grab a beer, and Nirvana's on the stage, and it only costs $2 to get in, right? It was just wild back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Well, the property got sold. After all the years, the property got sold, and the wrecking ball was coming to tear it down, to put something else up. And such an iconic place. My girlfriend and I, we hopped in my big white pickup truck and put on orange vests and white hard hats and a ladder. And we pulled up right downtown Portland on the street and had people stand there and hold the ladder for us while we took the marquee off of the front of the building, loaded it in the back of my truck, right? So we stole the marquee out the front of Satyricon. Now, mind you, I've got some spirituality going on here with myself. We were on our way to church, so we had to stop and rob Satyricon of their marquee on the way to church, and so that's pretty funny. And then the very next day, the wrecking ball did come and tore it down. That's when the song it says they tore it down with the wrecking ball, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, right. And we came there. We came as the wrecking ball destroyed it, and it was amazing that it was so iconic. There was like only 3 other people out of the entire music scene that showed up, and they were so kind. The construction crew, the demolition crew, they loaded us up these carts, these dollies full of bricks from the Satyricon, and I loaded up the back of my truck, and I built a walkway out of that. My next door neighbor at the time was Robin Banks, legendary radio DJ from KGON in Portland, Oregon, 92.3 FM. Robin Banks, and he built a walkway and a barbecue and all that out of the bricks as well. So
wow,
exciting stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So let me just touch one more thing on that.
Yeah.
If you Google punk hero Satyricon, you'll see a full story that was in the Willamette Week or something, and then it got picked up and re-released by Vice magazine.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, wow, I love the way you tell stories, man. I'm like enraptured in it, so I'm having to stop myself from just like fanboying over here. So I want to back it up a little bit.
Yeah.
What are your early beginnings, man?
So I was born. Okay.
Well, I would hope. Were you hatched? Were you? Okay. What are your early musical beginnings?
My early musical beginnings is I am the son of a touring country rockabilly artist that is now passed. His name was Charles Cunningham, and he did end up playing with Waylon Jennings in his later years. That's great stuff. So I was born into entertainment. I've lived a really wild life, brother, a really wild life. I lived with, for a moment, well, I was in a metal band for a moment when I was young, but I say young because see the gray beard, I'm a little bit older. One of my best friends for a while was Sandy Barr. His name is Sandy Barr. He was a professional wrestler that
Yeah, I know him.
right, yeah, that turned to
Yeah.
become a referee. Of course, we know his son. His
Art.
sons all became wrestlers. One of them was murdered in Mexico. Was
Yeah.
he was what like what was he the clown guy or Doink the
Um,
clown or
no, not Doink. I know
no
who
he
you're
was
talking about though.
but one of
It
those
was
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, he was one of those guys. So Sandy and I were good friends and we lived together for a little while, and that's pretty cool. But when Sandy passed away, uh, now mind you, I had a pompadour back then. I had the Elvis do going on and shit, right? I had my leather
Rockabilly.
jacket with the collar popped up and
Oh yeah.
and all that, the rolled up jeans. And well, some guys and I got together. We started a rockabilly band and we called it the Sandy Barflies.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and what a good play on words, barfly and Sandy Bar. So that's where I really got rolling. That's where I really dove into it and started feeling this is something I want to really dedicate myself into.
Wow. Okay. Every story I'm getting from you is really just like an eye opener to me. Real quick, when I first heard you guys, I don't think it was the inspiration at all, but just from where I come from with punk, I heard your vocals, man, and I was like, this sounds like The Damned with Rob Zombie style vocals.
Cool.
And I was like, I love The Damned myself,
Yeah.
man. I grew up listening to them on like vinyls and stuff like that when I
Yeah.
could. But no, I love the sound you guys have, man. That it's that old, like, I hate saying old, but it's that original punk sound.
Let's use
And
the word old school.
old school, yes. Some people are a little leery on when I use that word. I'm like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Call a spade, right? You know,
Right. That's exactly what it is. Let's call it that. It's old school.
But I mean, it's got that chuggy, it's got that in your face just blast, and
Yeah.
I fucking love it, man. Like I fell in love with it. I was like, I need more of it because I was looking on Spotify and I'm like, they have one album. This isn't fair.
We're working on more. We're working on more right now.
Good, because you made a fan out of somebody out in Virginia.
Fantastic.
So,
Yeah, cool.
I mean, with you having grown up in the industry and things, especially in the punk rock scene, how has it evolved since you first started? And I mean, are there things that you miss about when you first started to where it is now, and vice versa?
Now we're about to get serious, okay?
Yeah.
I miss the love, the unity, the freedom, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the kindness, the hope, the support. It's over. It's I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on anymore, man. As far as punk rock scene goes, and to be honest, I don't call us a punk rock band. I call us a drunk rock band.
Okay.
I do drunk rock, punk rock, and or crossover, right?
Okay.
Because you're gonna find that DRI in there. You're gonna find that kind of that corrosion of conformity, that weird drive going on. You're gonna find all that. It's crossover. Unfortunately, right now, punk rock is very
stagnant,
mean, very mean spirited, and I don't mean on the stage. I mean the scene. The scene would rather than get together and have a good time. Now, this is just in the environment that I live in, the Pacific Northwest. You walk into a venue, if anybody shows up at all, and you got these guys are going to stand over here, these guys are going to stand over here, these guys are going to stand here, and they're all going to look at each other, talk shit about each other, and then gossip and all that crap. It's all about cancel culture right now, and who can, unfortunately, rather than using talent and charisma to get ahead, we're putting people down and making up stories to get ahead. How about let's stop spreading the gossip, stop spreading the rumors, and start writing some damn good songs. Better way to get noticed.
I agree. I have a side project. I have a solo project called Six Scars, and it's an underground thing, man. And it's amazing how cutthroat just social media underground can be. I've made some amazing friends, don't get me wrong, but I've lost several that I thought were like, really good ones too, because they get lost in the numbers. And look, it's easy to do in today's age. Like, it really is. But I mean, it sucks that there's a loss of community.
Yes.
And there's a loss of camaraderie.
It's a competition.
Yeah.
And it's rock and roll isn't a competition.
No.
It's a friendship.
I agree. And I mean, for me, I feel if it becomes a competition, it's the greatest way for it to die off.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we won't get involved in any of these. There's a lot of, let me find the right words here. This is how I get into play shows. I knock on the door, whether it be the internet or on the door physically, and I say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is where I've been, and this is who I know. Let's book a show. Okay. I forgot where I was going with that.
I mean, hey, that's perfect. Perfect.
That's where I was going. Numbers and competitions. We won't participate in vote for this band to be on the show. Vote for this band to have the highest numbers. We don't. I will occasionally, and only occasionally, I hate that act and that.
Oh, dude, I hate
everybody
the
and followers and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I don't play this follow for follow crap. I don't do that either. And I don't. There's a lot of folks posting at this point, and this is common lingo. We didn't use this lingo 20 years ago. People are posting a lot right now. Hey, I'm at 499,000 votes or likes. I only need 10,000 more to reach 700. Just everybody help me out. And you're asking people that have never even heard you to give you numbers. Okay. I got a better idea. Like I said before, put out some content that people can listen to and hear to get your numbers up. Now, here's what I do. I participate at a different level. Like once a week, I'll have not like a contest and it's not like a vote. I'll just post the first band the first unknown band that replies. I'll send 1,000 invites to like your page.
Hell yeah, dude.
Right?
I mean, to me, like, I would rather have 1,000 people or 100 people that genuinely listen to the content that you're putting out versus 20,000 followers and you're getting one person to listen to the track that you just poured your heart into.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, folks out there, if you ever receive a request from me to like or follow a band, what I'm asking you to do is go look into the band and see if you like them. I'm not asking you to randomly click like because I sent you that. Okay. I'm sending you an opportunity to look into a band that you've probably never even heard of to do that. See, guys, here's something you might not know as well. I'm also a radio host. See, I have my own radio show on Metal Cross Radio. We have Chaos and Wisdom with Johnny Ketchup on Fridays at 5 p.m. But I'm receiving thousands of songs from these bands that you guys have never even heard of. Some of them you have. I mean, everybody's heard of something, you know. Every band's got some fans out there, even if it's only 2. Maybe it's 10,000. Who knows? But check the band out. Don't do that. It's no different than mommy and daddy bought my way onto the stage. It's fake. It's not real. And it comes through in your attitude and your music. Be legit.
Absolutely. You and I have that similar mindset when it comes to that because I'll ask people to give mine a chance. That's all I ask. If you don't like it, don't ask anybody else to enjoy it. Because I'm a very niche thing. I do what's called shoegaze metal. And it's, it's like in the style of Whir and Bloody Valentine and stuff like that. So it's not very well known. And I'm like, well, not everybody's going to like that. And that's cool. But don't make me out to be like a whore.
Let's dive into you, young man. You say shoegaze metal. Is that what you said? Or did you say shoegaze doom?
Shoegaze metal.
Okay, now here's something. I find shoegaze to be music that just makes you deep inside yourself. And it got the title shoegaze because people just sit there with their head down and thinking about themselves and shit. But now when you add metal to that, how does that work?
So I grew up listening to just like all different kinds of metal when I was able to. I grew up in a highly religious home, so that's a big part of it. But then when I found it, I was like, I'm obsessed with it. I kind of just started developing my scream when I was 16, and I'm 33 now.
All right.
And I just put out my, like, this is weird, like giving me a plug while I'm interviewing you here. This is
Unity.
But I just put out my second full-length shoegaze album. And it's, for me, man, I combine elements of metal, post-hardcore, rock, regular hardcore, like you name it, and then sprinkle in a little bit of like, Deftone style cleans here and there, and then just make your own thing,
Cool.
Unfortunately, I'm not talented enough to make the instrumentals myself, so I do get them from somebody, but I feel like as long as I'm able to express myself through them and I'm genuine about saying like, hey, I didn't make this. I was gifted this opportunity basically with the instrumentals that this person made. But yeah, like I've been doing vocals for about 16, 17 years now, and just joined the band almost a year ago now. We got one show under our belt right now, and ours is more I guess thrash metal and like, kind of, well, yeah, thrash and metalcore and things like that. But if you want, man, I'll send you a link afterwards so you can just
please
check it
do
out.
it. I'll put you on the air.
Oh, no, you don't gotta do all that,
but
man.
I'm going to. I mean, I'm going to. See, that's the great thing about my radio show, Chaos and Wisdom. That means it's just, you never know what's going to happen next on there. I don't play just one genre or one kind. And I certainly don't listen to a band and go, well, that to me, that sucks, so I'm not going to play it. Because guess what? For every band that I think sucks, 10,000 people think they're awesome.
Yeah. And it's all about people's preference, It really is. Like, but getting back into you, because I'll start getting on a tangent. I got to stop myself there. What are some memorable stories of either being on stage or on tour that impacted you?
Oh my gosh.
If you can narrow it down, like,
I don't know. Jeez.
Or, okay, how about first one that comes to mind?
First one that comes to mind, we played a place called Lucky Liquor. Lucky Liquor in...
that's a double entendre.
Right. Somewhere in, I think it's Tacoma, Washington. And, I was drinking heavily at the time. And part of my show is, I have a 6-pack at least of open cans with me on stage. And I'm not just drinking it. I'm pouring it all over myself as I'm drinking it and all that shit. And then I buy like 50 rounds of shots of tequila. And I'd have everybody, the first few people in front come up there. We'll all do a shot of tequila together. But by then I'm really smashed, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I was drunk. I was really fucking drunk. But that's part of the Johnny Ketchup stick, right? And I had 2 cans of beer on the stage in front of me, and I fucking touchdown kicked them, field goal kicked them into the audience. And I kicked them into the audience. The sound guy got pissed, of course, because beer sprayed into the monitors and all that shit and across the place in the speakers. The audience thought it was really cool. But I thought it was funny and silly that as I kicked the can, because it was during the last song, as I kicked the can, I went, "That's it, fuckers, show's over, go home." There was another band scheduled after us.
Oh, no.
And everybody packed up and went home. Oh my God. No. They packed up and went home, and it's like everybody's leaving, and the other band comes up and goes, "You motherfucker, that's fucking bullshit, dude." And like, well, your name is on the top of the fucking poster. They should know I'm just fucking talking shit drunk on the fucking microphone. I don't run this fucking venue, dude. Oh my God. It was so uncool on my part.
Oh, yeah. Man.
I mean, if you were there, it was super cool.
Yeah.
There was a couple other radio personalities and podcasters there that recorded it, and they had a fucking blast. And awesome. So the next night, we were in Spokane, Washington, and we got there, and the booking agent there says, "Hey, I got a phone call from Lucky Liquor." If you think you're gonna be fucking kicking beers across the stage here, you're out of your damn mind. Don't pull that shit. Like, okay, I didn't kick any beer. I just threw shots of tequila. I gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Dude, that is awesome. I mean how punk rock lifestyle of that is, you know, man. Like you kick a can across the stage and then tell people to go home while there's another band getting ready to play. I mean,
the thing that gets me is they got so upset about it. Imagine if they'd booked Gigi Allen.
Oh God, dude.
They never would have survived.
No.
I got a fight going on behind me here. Hey guys, everybody say hello to Ryder.
Oh, what a cutie.
This is Ryder. I've had him for 2 days now.
Oh my goodness.
He's a blackmouth cur. He's going to get about 100 pounds.
Is he going to be the Quits mascot?
Yep. Well, sure.
That is awesome. Well, I'll take it back a little bit more here. So with how long you've been doing music, how is it, let me reword it, how has it been to adapt to the modern ways of music distribution versus how they were back then?
I'm a media whore, so it's not too bad. It's true. I'm the voice of on and off the stage of the Quits, and I also promote a lot of other bands and book other bands all across the country. So it's just something I do. I never had a problem with it. You just have to accept, you know, this is what we're doing now. So figure out how to do it. If you need help to figure out how to do it, do that. But, you know, here's the thing is it's all going to fail one day. Mm-hmm. Dog. It's all going to fail one day and we're going to go back to vinyl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I expect that to happen. And so, excuse me while I do some shameless promo. No, it's just I'm really hot. It's warm in here.
Oh, I love the shirt. Shameless self-promotion, man. Do it.
Indeed. But no, I'm cool with it. I never had any problem with it at all. I like it. You know what? Here's something fucking cool. You know, Judas Priest is about to release their newest album, Invincible Shield. Mm-hmm. They're releasing it on cassette.
Really?
Yep. Doggy, get him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I mean, they're going to release it in other forms as well. But when's the last time somebody released their album on cassette?
Not a big band like that.
Right? No.
You see a lot of like the independents, like on Bandcamp, they'll do cassette releases, like a lot of doom metal bands and black metal style, because they still love that lo-fi sound, which I mean, I'm a fan of it myself, so I can't say shit.
You can't go wrong with it, man.
Like, okay, look, I'm going to take the Band-Aid off of my own creative thing here, but it's like, for me, like, the lo-fi sound allows you more expression in not sounding perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like, it gives you that kind of DIY sound where it's like, you know what, fuck you, I don't really want to sound great. I just want to put what I want into it, you know? Like, I don't have to sound like whatever is on the radio right now.
Yeah, I agree. And it brings us back to the word old school. That's how we used to. Look, I'm going to be 59 years old this year. I'm almost 60 years old, and I'm still the front man of a touring punk band. Don't
that's
stop.
Fucking awesome, dude.
Don't ever stop. But that's how we used to all get our music. And you didn't go on the internet and look up a band. You would go into a magazine. You go into a magazine, and in the back, and this might just be some local rag in your area, that some band in London paid $5 to have an advertisement. And it says, if you want to hear us, send $1.50 to Blackpool, England, and we'll send you a cassette. Yeah. And that's the only way you could get it.
Damn. Sometimes I miss, like, I didn't get the chance to grow up in that era. Like, I was born in 90. So, I mean, I kind of was at like the peak of CDs, really, if you think about it, like getting into it. But it's like, man, like growing up, what it would have been like to be like a tape trader, you know, like just like discovering bands the organic way.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's something missing, in my opinion, anymore. Because it's like, I'm an advocate for using social media to get your stuff out there. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like there's this disconnect, right? Because when I was a teenager, or even as a kid, man, like I'd have to go to a record store. I'd put the big headphones on, and then you click the CD. You get to listen to the tracks, and it's like now you just gotta click on an app,
right?
And it's like reading a book. You know, like you open a book, you smell it, and then versus reading it on, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm just.
It was an adventure. You had to get out of your house, go somewhere to even get to hear it. Right?
Yeah. And it's like, I think it gets taken for granted so much now. And a lot of people can't come to grips with, you know, they put out this product and 99% of the time, people are just going to listen to it for free. And it's a hard thing for a lot of bands to accept, I think. Like, I'm still coming to that realization. Because it's like, you can't do this if you're in it for like, money.
Nope.
This is a career of passion.
Do it from your heart or just walk away. Walk away. These bands that newer bands that think they're going to become millionaires, well, you might. You also might become a professional basketball player, you know. You never know. Speaking of vinyl, I'm going to do a short plug real quick here for a friend of mine and his band and his outfit out of Colorado Springs, I think, maybe Pueblo, Ricardo Alvaredo. Okay. Ricardo, he's the singer of a band called Popes in Drag, PID. He also has a record label called Innocent Sinners Records. Now, Ricardo's been to several shows that we played. We played shows together. And what he does is he brings and he sets up a table full of all these demos of cassettes and vinyls and 45s and these little flimsy little piece of plastic things that are 45 records and shit. And he trades and he gives and he sells and anybody wants to get a hold of Ricardo Alvarado from Popes in Drag and or what's it called? Innocent Sinners Records. Talk to him because here's something really special that he does if he likes your music. He will do a split 45 with you. His band on one side, your band on the other, and he's going to do it for free. He's going to make like 150 of them. He's going to keep 75 to sell, and he's going to give you the other 75 to do with as you'd like. So if you're into vinyl and it's punk rock and he likes what you're doing, hey man, you guys look him up. Look him up.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to get the word out about that one, man. That's killer to do for some awesome. Okay. So I guess we'll take it to a little bit more of a serious tone. You know, we've been lighthearted as we should be. I like to open it up that way. And then, you know, you were gracious enough to tell me earlier that you're an open book. And I value that truly. I know it's not always easy to come on here and tell people's stories, especially if it's one that you're still going through. So I just appreciate your cavalier attitude toward it, truly.
Yes.
So, I mean, you were talking about your substance abuse and so on and so forth. How has the process of overcoming that addiction began to shape your music in a different way?
Oh, and isn't that interesting? Well, it's not as chaotic. You know, I quit the meth. Meth was what I was doing. I quit the meth like eight years ago, something like that. Maybe 6. I don't know. I'm not counting on that. I'm not doing numbers on that one. But beforehand, it was just chaotic nonsense. There was no direction. I don't play any instruments. I don't know a C from an F from an A. I don't. And I would sit here high as hell and think I was writing music on a guitar and just and thinking I was just a rock star. And it sounded so terrible in retrospect. But now that I'm not doing that, it's just got a better drive. And if you notice the songs themselves, what they're all talking about getting loaded, you know? And here's something interesting. You notice them, none of them are I'm going to get loaded. They are I did get loaded. Okay. I got fucked up. I got my fix. Right?
Yeah.
They're about what I did prior. Okay. I'm not trying to preach and dog, quit biting me. And he's biting my elbow. And so that now I do have, I think 100 and like maybe 127 days sober from alcohol.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
That's awesome, dude. That's a hell of a feat.
Yeah, it is. And things are really shaping up from that as well, because the music writing process happens with myself and musicians. And I would get very defensive. This is my baby. The Quits is my baby. I'm the founder and the only original member. Okay. But in my drunken stupor, I would get very, no, we're not doing that to this song. You're going to play it like this. We're going to do this. No, I don't want your input. I'll replace you. And all that bullshit, all that selfishness, right?
Yeah. Prima donna,
now that my mind is clear, I'm much more calm and much more collected. And to be honest with you, I've had writer's block for about 2 years. And not that I couldn't write the songs, is that I'd rather sit here and get fucking drunk out of my mind instead of doing what I needed to do. Mm-hmm. Right? So, so here's how I typically write songs, because I'm insane to start with. My mind is constantly running. It's constantly making up songs. And when I hear any kind of background noise, it could be somebody outside with a machine. And I hear a rhythm in there. Johnny got high, stole the car. Johnny got high, Johnny got high, and he stole the car. Motherfucking loaded. Right? See, I just wrote a song. Right? That's what my brain does, like that all day with any kind of sound. Right? But I'd lost that while I was drunk. I lost that. I couldn't hear the sounds of the rhythms of nature.
Yeah.
Right? So now with that clear mind, it's all coming back. I've written probably, just like 5 or 6 songs in the past 100 days, but that's because I want them to be the right song done the right way. I'm not just writing down every lyric that comes to my head, which of course I can't remember because melted it with drugs. So, but here's the technique that I do. I'm walking down the street. My mind starts going, Johnny stole the car, right? I pick up my phone, I turn on the camera at myself, and I go, Johnny stole the car, didn't get far, right? And then I get home and I play it back, because that way I can remember what was that rhythm I was hearing and what motivated that rhythm, and why did I come up with those lyrics? Well, once I hear it again, then the whole thing clicks back in my head, and I start thinking, oh, that's what I was saying. Oh yeah, and I remember I thought to myself, what if I did this to it? Because like I said, see how I'm wandering? I forget where I'm at really quickly. So I'll put the lyrics on the phone, and then I'll think of some more, and then I'll think of some more, and then I'll go, oh, what was the other one I thought of? Oh, fuck, I already forgot. God damn it. And that's so I have to just constantly put it on there, come home, tie it all together, and yeah.
That is so sporadic, and I love it. That to me sounds like the ADHD brain at work.
Well, yeah. I'm
ADHD, so I mean,
I have a therapist I see every other week. I have a few issues in the noggin.
Hey, only because you said in the noggin. So like, I mean, I've gone through 6 brain surgeries, brother. So I know all.
Oh, have you? Yeah.
But. Okay. But yeah, 60% metal up there. It is what it is, brother.
That's great, dude. That's your fucking thing. Beyond the breakdown, we're 60% metal up there. I love it, dude.
The other is like country bluegrass blues.
Have you dove into that? Have you gotten into a song 60% metal up there?
I haven't actually. I need to.
What are you waiting for, dude?
I mean, the whole name of the project is based on the amount of surgeries I had. So I was like, I didn't want to put a hat on a hat.
Put the hat on the hat.
I know, right?
Put the hat on the hat.
I might. That's a good one. I don't know why I never thought of that, but I might have to take you up on that and start.
I sure hope you do. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Oh man, dude, this is absolutely a blast, and I'm so grateful for your time, man. I got several more questions if it's all right with you.
Oh, of course, of course.
So, how with where you said you are now sober from alcohol,
Yes.
um, given the scene and everything else, how do you go about handling the circumstances that, like, if you're around it at the shows or stuff like that? How do you do with triggers?
I don't have triggers, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because I was done.
Just cold turkeyed.
Done is done. Done is done. I didn't try to quit drinking. I'm not in recovery. I have recovered. I woke up one day just like I did with meth, and I looked in the mirror and said, "This is fucking ugly, dude. Do something else."
Okay.
And that's how I did. So I don't have the trigger. If I don't have any, then I'm good to go. See, that's the thing. If I if I drink, I might end up doing all kinds of other shit, and I don't need that. So no, I'm trigger free. Hey, I'll tell you here. Do you mind if I step away from the camera for just like 8 seconds?
No,
you ready? I'm gonna run. You ready? Yeah. Don't turn it off. You ready? Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh, puppy live on TV, huh? Okay, guys, I'm back. Thank you for waiting for me. I am Johnny Ketchup. I'm back right here on Beyond the Breakdown.
I love you so much for that right now. Thank you.
I'll show you how serious I am. I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to show off. I'm just trying to brag and show off. Okay. Everybody's got their own triggers and their own ways of doing things. Johnny Ketchup has a little thing out back that.
Is that moonshine?
That's 140 proof moonshine. Now, if I got a little machine out back dripping, making this stuff, and I don't touch it, I'm done.
Oh, wow.
I can get as fucked up as I want right fucking now, bro. Right fucking now. Not going to do it. I don't want to. I won't be able to go to work. Ouch. I won't be able to take care of the puppy. I won't be able to have band practice.
Yeah.
I'll feel like shit. I'm good, bro. I might some other time in the future. I don't know, but not right now.
Dude, that's amazing. Like the amount of willpower that takes, you don't give yourself enough credit on that, man. That's incredible.
Yeah, and I have no credit to give. It's just, honestly, the same thing with the meth. Honestly, one day I looked in the mirror and said, "This is ugly. Do you really want to be ugly?" No, nobody loves ugly. Done. I'm having tea.
Well, I'm drinking a Monster over here, so cheers, my friend.
Cheers, my friend.
Oh, man. So that will lead me into the next question then. You were just talking about how, if you drank that, you wouldn't be able to do music. You wouldn't be able to go to band practice. You wouldn't be able to function.
Right.
So how has music given you that natural high as an outlet since taking away the highs?
Oh, it feels so good. It feels so naturally good. I think I'm feeling that old feeling again that I was after in the first place. It is a high. That's why we do it, right?
Yeah.
It's such. I don't even know how to answer your question, other than, man, it feels great. Then I can actually have a good time, enjoy it, remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, as long as you're cognizant of what you're doing and you're enjoying it, man. Because when we get older, sometimes our memories fade,
Yeah.
And it to me, I've been clean from a lot of stuff since I was 18, 19 years old. But for me, man, whenever I sing or whenever I get to go to band practice and just let out all my emotions, it's very freeing and it's liberating, right? Because it's I'm taking out all the aggressions that I would have put into purchasing other things, and And it's like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm gonna scream everything out right here, every bit of aggression until I'm red in the face and almost hoarse.
It's so much better. It's so much better. It's what a great high that is. And you just made me think of something. We're getting high by expelling something rather than putting something in. Isn't that cool?
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Here's another thing on top of the quitting the drugs and the alcohol is when I quit drinking, I also quit smoking cigarettes. Because I was just done with, I only do them together. I only ever did do them together. So I don't do one, I don't do the other. But I was getting to where I'd smoke 2 packs of cigarettes in one night, and then try doing band practice or a show. I got to keep to breathe and all that shit. And just there's times where I was actually on a stage. I had to hunch over. Give me a second, guys. To the audience. I played it off as though it was part of the show, but it was real.
Cardio and breath control is a real thing, man.
Yeah. I gotta get more cardio, my friend.
I
put on about 30 pounds. I put on about 30. I weigh more now than I have in my entire life.
It's amazing what getting sober does, though, right, man? Like,
right?
You start beefing yourself up. You're like, I didn't know I could look like this. Holy shit.
I need a little more muscle and a little more tummy.
Oh, dude, same. I'm weak as all hell. But I got a voice like that. I've been told I got a voice. So that's what matters to me, man.
Excellent.
So moving forward with your music, do you plan on using what you've overcome as a source of lyrics?
Can you keep a secret?
Sure.
Can everybody else out there on the internet keep a secret?
Well, I don't know about that, man. Have you seen Wikipedia?
Our new single that we haven't released yet. It's called That's It, I Quit.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I hope that answers your question.
That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. I'll be on the lookout for that one, man.
Yeah. It's a little story about different things that happen in life and how somebody would deal with them by substance abuse. And then how they can't see like this. I went to work. I'll just make something up. I went to work. Boss is an asshole. I told him, fuck you. That's it. I quit. So I went and got a bottle and got loaded. Right. Or I went to a restaurant and they didn't, and or whatever. And fuck that. I quit that too. And I got loaded, and fuck this too. And I got loaded. And then the person will just, I like to say it's about fictional characters. Well, Johnny Ketchup is a fictional character. So Johnny Ketchup at the end realized, it wasn't the boss. It wasn't this. It wasn't the girlfriend. It wasn't the thing. It was you getting loaded. And he went, that's it. I quit. So, yeah, certainly.
So you brought up an interesting thing where you said that Johnny Ketchup is a character. How did you develop Johnny Ketchup? If you can.
I can. Just let me. Well, the very first concert I ever saw was in 1979, Alice Cooper.
Oh.
So it starts with Alice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alice Cooper is not his real name. It's a stage character. And I have some Alice Cooper videos, some old stuff. And he says in an interview, Alice is a character on stage. He's the villain. And anyone can play that character. If I die today, you can play Alice, or you can play Alice, or you can play Alice, as long as you're willing to get on the stage, put the makeup on, and act the part.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's super cool because we are in the entertainment industry. We're not in the music industry. If you're in the music industry, you don't get on a stage. Okay? You just record stuff and you put it out. We're entertainers. People expect a show.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I become somebody else other than myself, that character can take on a persona and do these and act a certain way and then leave that on the stage. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And that can be an expected thing that when we go to the show, we know that when that person right there gets on that stage, that person has become Johnny Ketchup, and we're going to expect some beer punting.
And telling people to go home before the last band plays, right?
And telling people to go home. Now, mind you, with that in mind, I live very, very out of the way in the middle of let's see if you can see out my back window here.
A little bit. It looks like, yeah.
It's I mean, that's it. There's mountains and a valley and all that. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, right? But I have had fans find out where I live and show up on my doorstep by using my real name, which I originally used in the band. I originally used my real name. And I was like, and that's fine. And I get it. You know, they showed up and there are people that had been to shows. I'd met them before, but they'd actually come all the way from California because they just wanted to show up and surprise Johnny Ketchup and party.
Oh, wow.
But I wasn't Johnny Ketchup yet. And they just wanted to party because that's what you do. Rock and roll, punk rock. Let's go to that dude's house and show up. We'll go, woo! Okay, that was cool. We had a great time and all. But how do I avoid that? Well, stop telling me your real name, idiot. How about that? How about that? So I wasn't looking for a name. Here I am. And I'm just scrolling through the internet and YouTube and what have you. And a video comes up and it says, wait, A New American Tale, Johnny Ketchup. Okay. What's this about? So it's a book. It's a children's book. I wouldn't read it to my kids. It's a children's book, and the guy reads it on the air, and it's about this little boy, Johnny Ketchup, and his family absolutely loves ketchup. And they ran out of ketchup. So they sent little Johnny to the store to get some ketchup. Along the way, he meets a witch.
Oh, God.
The witch takes him back to her house, and she makes him some food, but he needs ketchup. And she goes, oh, well, wait here. I'll go get you some ketchup. Well, to make a long story short, it's not a long story in the first place. She continuously goes back to his home and murders his family one by one, drains their blood, and brings it back and is feeding him his family's blood as ketchup.
Holy
and I'm like, this is so friggin' bizarre. This is so bizarre. Okay, Johnny Ketchup. Johnny Ketchup it is, you know?
What?
I know. What? What is up with that?
From the name, I would never, ever expect, cannibalism.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's an odd one.
I like it, though. I like it. And it somehow, it seems to fit your personality.
Oh, does it now? What are you trying to say, bro?
Well, I mean, you're kicking beers across the stage, or you're telling people to go home. Like, I mean,
in that it's peculiar and twisted, and I get it. Yeah. So I couldn't not use that name, and you mustard. You muster that Johnny Ketchup mayo or mayo not relish the idea of kicking them beer cans.
Man, I was honestly I didn't know how you would feel about it, but I was thinking about doing a promo for this damn episode where it was like, come on to Beyond the Breakdown with 6 Cars with Johnny Ketchup as he cuts the cheese.
Yeah. I love you, my little squeeze packets.
I was like, I didn't know exactly how you would be. I was like, I don't want him to think I'm disrespecting the name.
No worries. I contacted Kraft or Heinz. I contacted Heinz about some sponsorship, but it's funny because the only way they would sponsor, well, it only makes friggin' sense, dude. Right? Because my logo for my because I promote, I promote bands and put on shows as well as Johnny Ketchup Presents, and my logo is basically a Heinz Ketchup label. Yeah. I'm like, hey, so let's work together. And they're like, well, we can send you 1,000 squeeze packets. I'm like, I don't want 1,000 squeeze packets. That's not what I'm after. How about if you guys buy us a backdrop or something? Something for real, man. What I can do? If they thought it was bad with me fucking spilling beer, imagine what would happen in a venue if I threw out 1,000 squeeze packets of ketchup.
You'll get squirted back at you or something. Be looking like fake blood all over the place, man.
Like Guar.
Oh well, yeah, just without things attached to their heads.
Guar with ketchup.
Oh
That's
man.
funny. But yeah, that's exciting. Can you believe that? I mean, it's well, anyways, yeah. Yeah, they weren't going to go for a helping out monetarily. All the ketchup I want.
So to go to a little bit more of a serious note, with Johnny Ketchup and obviously it being not exactly who you are, what was the come down like from having to change from being on stage to being who you are?
I've only just done that.
True.
I've only
Very
just
true.
done that because here's the reality: is it became a problem. I was living out Johnny Ketchup off stage. I think I've been living out Johnny Ketchup off stage for probably four or five. No, I've been living Johnny Ketchup off stage for 5 years. Okay, guys, I'm going to come clean with you. Are you ready?
Hmm.
Somebody broke my heart. Somebody that I started this band with,
Yeah.
she broke my heart. And I used alcohol to cover that. And I drank more and more and got worse and worse and worse. And I have just recently come down from being Johnny Ketchup. Yeah.
That's it's heartbreaking to hear, but at the same time, it's also reassuring because
Yeah.
I went through a heartbreak of my own about a year or so ago, and it really changed. It changed everything, man. Like you look at everything, and you kind of want to become anything but who you actually are
Yeah.
because you don't want to feel anything that you're dealing with. I don't want to say that's how you felt. That's just how I felt internally. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it didn't happen to Johnny Ketchup. It happened to the real me.
the
Right.
real you, yeah,
So if I can just
yeah.
become Johnny Ketchup, I don't have to worry about it.
Well, I mean, I for one am extremely proud of what you've done in that progress, man, because it looks like you're happy, you're healthy.
Thank
I'm
you.
never gonna say it's easy because I mean it is it's a road. You've overcome the hill. Now you're on the road, right?
Right. Exactly. Yep. Yep.
You know?
It's not easy. It's not easy. And here's the thing is even though I talk like, hey, I just decided to quit one day, it still wasn't like that. It took me months and months of going, God, I don't even fucking like this anymore. Why am I doing this? That kind of shit. That moonshine is 140 proof. And I was drinking a full one of these per night. And I was drinking it like water. I could drink it like this. And so when you can drink alcohol like that, you're not having fun anymore.
No, no, you're not.
I was just hiding my feelings.
And it becomes a dependency,
Mhm.
more than any kind of enjoyment. At least for me. Again, I don't like
Agreed.
speaking for other people.
Agreed.
Um, so I mean, with all that being said, if there was other people, not just in the punk rock kind of scene or the drunk rock as you call it, but just in music in general, and they're wanting to go through recovery and they're not sure how to do it, what would you tell them?
Pick up your telephone right now and Google AA meeting near me. The only thing stopping you is you. I'm not pushing AA. It's just the organization I'm familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever it takes. If you're tribal, go to your tribe, whatever it might be. It doesn't matter. If you need help, reach out. There are people that love you. I know that while you're in that state, you think that nobody cares, but there are people because I thought nobody cared anymore. And I have such a support team from all over the world. And I'm not talking about that program. I'm talking within the music industry, dude. I've got people checking in on me from Japan, London, Mexico City, weekly. How you doing, man? How's it holding up? And I'm connected with a group of folks. We have a thread. We call it the Ways of Ozzy.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And we've all known each other for 30 plus years. And recently, about half of us have gotten sober. So we're all just support each other. Really, really cool. Yeah. So
Dude,
reach out. You're going to find people. I'm going to say it again. You might think that nobody cares. When you honestly reach out, people care.
they do.
You think they don't care
They
because
do.
you know why? You're the one not talking to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We shut them out when we think they don't care, even though we're not actually trying.
Right? Yeah, because we hide. We shut them out and we hide. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't
Yeah.
out there walking around the neighborhood being drunk and fucked up. I'm in here getting drunk and turning Slayer up till 10, up till fucking 15, until 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not outside. They don't know. They just know it's that rock and roll dude over there playing music.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
if you don't reach out, nobody knows.
Well, ironically, you answered another one of my questions. I love how it's been tonight, because it's kind of just been like, so free flowing, and then you're literally almost answering the next question. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. I was gonna say, since you have been clean and on that road, how has it affected the relationships with your musical, cohorts, like within the industry, within your friends? Obviously you got some that are very supportive of you. Has it caused a departure of some?
Nope. Absolutely no departures at all. None.
Awesome.
Even the people that are still getting loaded, they're getting loaded, and those that aren't, they aren't, and whatever. I'm shocked. I'm in awe.
Yeah.
I can't say it loud enough. They care. All the time we think they didn't care, they care.
Yeah. That's really something to hear too, because a lot of times you'll hear stories about bands or just people in general, right? When they start getting clean and they're like, well, this person left me because I'm no longer a part of that life.
Yeah.
Or I had to leave them because they're still a part of it. And, but man, that's okay. Wow. Like,
there are people I've separated myself from, but that's more like drug addicts.
Yeah.
There's a bar in every corner and they sell beer in every store. I can't not see it, but I just don't have to. We have a local bar here that is known for its bad behaviors, and I used to book shows there. I just don't go in there.
Yeah, no, I completely get that, because if you know it's going to promote something within you, why give yourself the chance, right?
Yeah, right. I'd rather go fishing, man.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. We'll get into another one. Like, what are some of your hobbies? Like, we obviously know music, but what makes you tick?
Salmon, steelhead, sturgeon, bow hunting. I bow hunt elk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I live. So where I live, I can literally walk. If they were in, I don't know what size city blocks are in your area, but just a typical city block. If we called it 3 to 4 blocks, within 3 to 4 blocks of where I live, I'm into elk territory.
Oh, wow.
I can walk from my house to elk hunt. So that's pretty cool. And I like that. I deer hunt, elk hunt. What I do is I buy it's called a sports pack tag here in Oregon, and it's good to hunt and fish anything. But so I buy that, and I really, mind you, I've been doing this for years, and I've only killed one elk in my life, because it's not about killing an animal for me. And here's, you can rifle hunt, but rifle season is only like 3 days, but bow hunting, the season is a month. So for me, it's an adventure. I can get up in the morning and take my bow for a walk, right? I can take my bow for a walk and just go up in the mountain, find wild mushrooms and see animals and just beautiful stuff you'd never see. It's so amazing. Dude, I have literally called a herd of elk within 28 yards of me. And we're talking 150 plus elk with like these great big 6x6 antlers.
Oh, man.
28 yards in front of me. And me and my buddy were there, me and Jared. And I'm like, and I'm on these elk, and I just went like this. And I put it down, and I was in so much awe of where I was and what was happening. It was so amazing. And Jared didn't shoot either. And there was like 20 bulls in there. And we didn't, and we watched as they walked away. We just sat there until they were done, and they walked away, and we looked at each other and smiled. And I went, dude, that's like fucking National Geographic. And he's like, yeah, it is. You good? I said, yeah, I'm good. And we went home.
Dude, that's like a real connection to it too, right?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Being a bow hunter has a lot of, well, for me anyways, and my buddy Jared that I hunt with, he's native. And so that's kind of in his soul as well.
Yeah.
And so we have a credo we have a credo that unless everything is 100% guaranteed, that an arrow will not leave the bow. That if even my heart, my brain, my vision, the twigs, the grass, if everything doesn't check out completely, absolutely 100%, an arrow's not leaving my bow. It's so much beyond. Whereas a rifle hunter, they're going to see something way the hell over there, and they're going to shoot at it, and they might hit it, they might not hit it. They'll keep shooting it until they hit it. They'll hit it 4 or 5 different times in different spots to kill it. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not. It's not about. I can go to the grocery store and buy some meat.
Yeah.
I don't need to kill an animal to eat. It's just an adventure for me.
Wow. Yeah. So where I'm at, you don't see a whole lot of people wanting just that kind of connection to nature and feeling it. It's more just shoot to kill here, man. Unfortunately, like when it hits deer season, it gets kind of rough.
Well, you guys have whitetail deer, right?
Yeah.
And they breed like rabbits.
Yes.
Yeah.
All our cars can attest to it.
Yeah. I have a neighbor across the street that moved here from Pennsylvania, and they get 7 deer, and that includes does and fawns. In Oregon, you get 1 deer, and it must be a buck.
Oh, wow.
We have a coastal black-tailed deer, and you can go your entire life without even seeing a buck. I've hardly seen any until 3 days before bow season this year, when I opened up this window and there were 3 bucks standing where I could hit them with a rock.
But you weren't able to.
And I wouldn't have. Even during season, I wouldn't have. It just, I don't know. It's all about the beauty of it. It's all about the beauty of it. So here's something else. While I was busy playing Johnny Ketchup, I gave up on a lot of my hobbies and likes. I was really, really into fishing, man. And I taught a lot of guys how to salmon fish and taking them to my places. And we've got a whole group of folks. Brad Mallon from Cryptic Slaughter, which is now, I can't remember. They changed the name. Jake Romero from 90 Proof. Guys from Sweaty Nipples, Crud. We all used to all get together and go salmon fishing down the Oregon coast, and that was really freaking cool. But then when I started getting loaded, I stopped doing that. And honestly, over the years, I've got rods up here on my wall, but I've got this top high end fishing gear. I've got probably $10,000 worth of fishing gear I haven't touched in 5-6 years.
Oh man, I'm
ready to get back in. I'm ready to go today.
Yeah, definitely. Now, is it in season in Oregon to go fishing right now, or?
Yeah, there's something is always open.
Okay.
It just depends on what is open and where, because we're right next to. I'm 30 miles from the ocean.
Oh wow!
Right, so we've got these fresh runs of coho salmon, Chinook salmon, steelhead, all kinds of great stuff. But when they come in, they're coming in by the thousands. So it's they want to make sure enough get upstream to spawn and all that. So just certain places, certain times, different methods you can use.
Okay. I've never had fresh salmon, dude. I bet that tastes amazing.
It does.
So aside from, doing your outdoors thing, are you into any kind of movies or anything like that kind of helps give it any inspiration?
Gosh, that's an interesting one, isn't it? I don't even know how to answer. I haven't watched a movie in its entirety in so long.
Okay.
Because I've become hooked on this thing, and you can TikTok and YouTube and that for hours and hours. I'd have to say 2 of the greatest films ever made. Are you ready? 2 of the greatest films ever made are Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Okay.
And I don't mean the remake. I mean
the OG.
I mean Part 2, the old one. Yeah. And Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
What more do you need?
You just got another invite on this damn podcast. Let's go. Let's run it back.
Okay, then throw in Spun and Requiem for a Dream.
Oh man, Requiem is that is such a beautifully heart-wrenching movie, right?
Oh God. And you can apply that to so much stuff.
Aronofsky, if I remember correctly, he's the one that directed it. He's a hell of a director, man. He's one of the top ones for me. I can get into a whole movie spiel if I'm not careful. But I wanted to give some love. My buddy Patrick here, he came in late to the show. You may not know him, but he's a part of the independent underground circuit called Sieve. He is a trap metal artist. He's one of the greatest listeners of the podcast. I can't thank him enough. So awesome. Shout out to you, Pat. Also, shout out to what I call my brother podcast in Liars Pacifist. He's doing an interview with Matt Sassano, who we had on this one a few weeks ago. So nice. It's kind of cool to see all of it kind of happening and popping off at the same time. And I just want to give a shout out to them real quick. I didn't want them to go without it. They mean the world to me, man. So, I mean, we've kind of gone all over the place tonight, right, man? Like this has been fun, dude. Like I've enjoyed the hell out of this. So
I have a good time and I'm having a blast.
Good. Like I said, the invitation is open for a second parter if you want, man. We can come on. We don't have to talk about anything serious. We can just shoot the shit.
Great. Sounds good to me.
So with that being said, and in closing, where can we find The Quits? I know we have the Instagram, but it's also on YouTube, correct?
You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Reverb, iHeartRadio. Here's what I don't. How about this? Here's what I don't have. I don't have SoundCloud and Bandcamp.
Okay.
And the only reason I don't is because I'm going through some changes with some media stuff.
I got you.
Yeah. So we're everywhere else.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a fan of SoundCloud myself. I have Bandcamp just because I like the chance to upload the high quality files that I can do versus Spotify. They kind of, to me, it's just compressed audio, especially for my style of shit. It already sounds rough. Spotify has a tendency, man. Like I'll upload it in 320 kbps, and it's like I'm gonna make it sound like you just uploaded it on a dial-up modem, and it got
nice.
Through it.
You know, it'd be cool if when you did that, it actually sounded like it went.
I know, right? Like the old AOL sign. Well, Johnny, this has been a blast, dude. I always say at the end of the episodes, like I didn't know what to expect, but I mean, every guest always has their own way of over delivering, and man, this has been so much fun. We went from tour stories to a little bit of your past and the lore of The Quits, which I hope forever stays intact, man. I don't even want to know.
Right. It's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you again, man. And if you will stick around for just a moment afterwards, I'll talk to you a little bit after we go off the air, man.
Sounds great.
All right. Well, everybody, that was Johnny Ketchup of The Quits, man. That was crazy cool. His candid attitude toward opening up with his addictions and everything was really, really something to see. Not everybody can do that, so I hope that a lot of people can take away what they needed from this episode. And speaking of episodes, next week we got Steve coming up, and I cannot wait. Steve is one of my in real life best friends that I've gotten to know over Facebook, and it's gonna be a beast of a different kind. So with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Be good for each other, be good to each other, and thank you for going beyond the breakdown with 6 scars. I'm JT. Till next time.